Hi beauties! Today I'm going to show you how to use my bronzer and highlighter and blush, of course, and it's going to give you a little bit of information about those pieces. If you're like me, I have little to no experience, or had I should say, with bronzer and highlighter. As a fair-skinned, cool complexion, highlighter that's designed for my skin tone is rare. So I finally was able to design a bronzer that was cooler undertoned for us, and it can be used on any complexion, but it's a little cooler, so it works for us too. So because I was so, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I didn't know what in the world I was doing with bronzer. It's taken me a while to make this tutorial because I've had to practice for myself, and I've also found some interesting tips for you too, for makeup tips for bronzer and highlighter. So I will have to say that a lot of tutorials I've watched are, I don't want to say wrong, because some of their techniques are correct, but it's misleading because it's on darker skin tones, so it's looking like they're putting a lot on, but they are. Bronzers are meant to be very buildable, and they're putting more on because they have more pigment in their skin, and we have to put like hardly any in order to make it look similar to theirs. My first big important tip for you, I've heard a lot of people saying, well, I use bronzer for blush. Please don't. I am one of I understand being someone who gets stuck in a rut and uses something you think looks good. But in reality, if you were to take pictures and look at what would look natural for your color for your face, bronzer is not a blush. Bronzer is by default brown. And if you have a healthy look to your face, and that's what you want to go for, it should not be used as blush, because a healthy look for any skin tone is not brown on your cheeks. And if you are using bronzer by itself under your cheekbones, I also say don't do that, okay? Because while you may think that looks good, and it might, you need more than just that. Because basically what what bronzer does is it creates shadows. Well, when you create shadows, when you do artwork, I took art lessons when I was like, for a very long time when I was a little girl, but I got all the way up to oil painting. And in order to create shadows, you have to create reflection too, and other colors. You can't just add shadow, because it just makes it look dark and muddy. So you do not want to use bronzer by itself, either on your cheeks or under your cheekbones. It needs highlighter and or blush with it. I would say highlighter is the least important of the three, but if you're using bronzer, you need to use blush. And coming from someone who used the same eyeshadow color or didn't typically wear color at all growing up, I always got told I was washed out because I always wore lip gloss. And a pale lip gloss, and it did wash me out. I thought it was pretty, but it did wash me out because I'm so fair everywhere else. My eyebrows are pale, I don't know why. My cheeks are pale except for ruddiness right here, which doesn't look very natural. My lips kind of are pale compared to my contrast between my skin and my hair. So making my lips lighter really washed me out, but I thought it looked good. And now looking back at pictures and looking back at what we want to create for a natural beauty, it was really off, but I didn't know it. So I want to encourage you to try something new. It may look different or feel different at the time, but you'll get used to it, and you just need to practice, and that's all. You need to learn how to blend, because blending erases a lot of mistakes, literally. And I just had a thought and I just forgot it. But it had to do with blending, so maybe that's what it was. And it's very buildable. Just, if I can do it, you can do it, okay? Because until I had my own makeup line, I never had a foundation to fit my skin color. They were all too dark. So if I can do this, you can definitely do this. So let's get started. You're going to need, this might take a few minutes, especially if you're new to this. You may want to plan like an extra 15 minutes, just so you're not in a hurry, because if you're in a hurry, you will mess up. Or if you're on video, you will mess up. I keep having that happen to me. So you're going to need your Elite bronzer brush, which I have now added to my shop, your blush brush, and your highlighter brush, which I have now added to my shop. Okay, the reason why there's different brushes is because this is more precise to get under your cheekbones, and it's loosely packed. You don't want a densely packed brush because it's going to put too much product on you and then you won't be able to blend it out. You want it light, you want it buildable, and you want to be able to blend it. Okay, here's your highlighter. You could try just to use this to do your bronzer, but I don't recommend it because it's fluffy, so it's not very precise. And the reason why you want this one for highlighting is because it's even more loosely packed than the bronzer brush. But because of its, see how rounded it is? It's designed for like dusting a little tiny bit of color on or highlighter on. You're not doing that with your bronzer brush, so I don't recommend using this one for, what do you call it? Bronzer. Sorry, we just went through a hurricane and I'm really tired. So let me go over real quick what I'm wearing on my face. I've already prepped my face to do this tutorial for you. So I already have on Alabaster foundation. Let's see, Exotic Beauty Mineral Mascara in Midnight, the blue one, because it makes the whites of your eyes look whiter. You don't look as tired. I have Cleopatra's Kohl eyeliner on. I used it wet this time to get a little thinner line. And then I have on Refuge and Quiet Patience eyeshadows and Fiery Idealist lipstick and Deep Compassionate Beauty brow gel. So that's what I'm wearing. And Perfectly Flawless mineral oil. So here we are. You'll also want your kabuki brush probably, especially if you're new to this, so you can blend out a little better. I always so far feel like I have to blend out my bronzer with this, not because of the product, but because of my skills. So this erases everything, so have it on hand. You'll always have a little bit of foundation on it, and that's all you need to blend it out, if you happen to need to. So today I'm going to use, first you're going to put on your bronzer. Wrong brush for that, right? It's a great pointing brush. You need your bronzing brush, and you're going to need, if you're doing my colors, my Sun Warmed Rose bronzer, and then you're going to need Snapdragon blush, and then you're going to need Radiant Rose highlighter. So that's the order we're going to put it in. For bronzer, you're going to need to go under your cheekbones. For the life of me, I've had such a hard time finding my cheekbones because if you notice, I have high cheekbones in that sense, but there's not much definition between my jaw and my cheek. So I have tried different tutorials, one where you draw the top of your ear to your nose, and the way my face is, it puts it a little too high. It just looks too high for me. So I've always noticed when I wear my glasses, I kind of do this because my glasses are in the way of my cheeks, and so when I do my blush, I kind of have to like elongate my face in order to get to the cheek area because I can't see with my glasses off. I'm wearing contacts right now. So if my glasses are on, they have to be on to put on makeup, which is why I don't typically wear eye makeup. So anyways, I thought, what if I do that to find my cheekbones? Because I always think my blush looks incredible when I'm wearing my glasses and I'm finding my cheekbones. So here's a new tip for you to find your cheekbones. Do that. Okay, it looks silly, but who cares? You're not walking around like that, right? One word of caution. At least on me, I have a deeper inset here than here. That creates a deeper pocket, which makes me accidentally put too much product in that pocket, and then you look odd. So try not to, if you have that like me, where that's your deepest spot, try not to load that up with product because you don't want to do that. So what you do is you tap a little bit into the lid, and you take your bronzing brush and you tap it a little bit into the brush, but you swirl it. You want it evenly on the brush, and you want to tap it off a little bit because the idea is you want to build, okay? If you watch an artist, when they add shadows, they're going to be doing a little at a time also. So I have to stop talking to do this. We'll go right there, okay? Okay, so you can start seeing there's a little bit of dark line there. You add until you feel comfortable. okay? Now, you will see a line for right now. That's okay. We have to put it in and then blend. So do not freak out when you see this line, okay? So I'm going to do the other side now. Need a little bit more here. I always tap it into the lid so I can control how much product is available for my brush. You want to make sure you don't go past like this line here on your face. Okay, so now it looks dark, right? Don't worry about it, it's okay. Now, we can go ahead and highlight like our jawline. Just under the line of your jaw, you can run it this way. I don't really use much to do that, but it really just helps it stand out a little bit. See, it helps it just stand out. I need a little bit more in the lid here. There we go. You can run it, it's called like tickle your hairline, basically. A lot of tutorials look like they're showing it to you really thick and really hard on there, and a lot of the icons that you'll see of pictures of this looks really dark and really thick, so don't do that. You really just want to create just the subtlest little bit of color. This slims your face, and in my case, it makes me not quite look so stark white and dark brown hair. Okay, so the other thing you can do if you want is run it along the side of your nose. I'm doing this part right here. It kind of makes it look a little thinner. Okay, now before you blend, you want to go get some blush. Okay, same thing, tap it into the lid, get it all over your brush. It's easy to follow the line, but I still kind of go like this. When you do your bronzer, you will look like you're wearing more makeup, in my opinion. Okay, I felt kind of uncomfortable wearing this much makeup because I don't typically add color like this to my face, because you have to use the blush with the bronzer. But let me tell you, I got so many compliments on my makeup that day, and I was shocked because I felt like it was too much, but yet everybody else thought it was fabulous. So if you're used to less makeup, don't worry, okay? And we can always go calm this down if you feel like this is too much. Always do your lipstick before you do your cheeks, because you're going to balance your cheeks, your eyes, and your lips. So your cheeks are the last thing you do, so that way you don't look like you are a clown. Okay? Now, time to blend. You can do this several different ways. Here it is. You can clean off your bronzing brush, make sure there's no product on it, and then you can lightly dust over where you put bronzer. Okay. In my opinion, for someone who doesn't wear much makeup, I feel like that's not enough blending for me. Okay, that doesn't mean that you're not fabulous enough that you can do it yourself like that. I just cannot. I don't feel comfortable doing that. So I take my kabuki brush and I still blend just a little bit more, and I also go over my blush. Okay, it makes me feel more comfortable. All you really want to do is create shape to your face. You're not like, oh, you're wearing bronzer, okay? So the last thing you do if you want to do it is you want to use the highlighter. So again, you tap a tiny bit into the lid, you take your highlighting brush, and then you swirl it into the lid, kind of tap it a little bit. You don't want much on there. Highlighting is kind of strong, especially if you're fair-skinned, you tend to look frosty. Okay, so my highlighter does not make you look frosty, but you still want to use a little at a time. So you want to put it where you want to bring light to your face, and basically use it wherever you want to pull a feature of your face forward.
So unless you want to put the tip of your nose forward, don't put on the tip of your nose. You may want to put it on the bridge of your nose because it'll make your nose look straighter and more lack of a better word, elegant. I'm not sure what an elegant nose is, but that's the best word I can come up with. So I like to put it on my nose. And the other part is, okay, highlighter use sparingly. Sparingly. Because unless you have lots of wattage and lights everywhere, you're not gonna have, I see the tutorials where they add highlighter all over their forehead and all over their cheekbones and all over, it makes them look sweaty and greasy. And that's not the look you're going for. And in reality, I've never seen any of those pictures look good either. It looks perfectly placed, but not very natural and pretty. So the only other place I added is right on the top of the cheekbone, right where you've, like right at the top of where your blush is stopped, and kind of do like a C right here, because it adds dimension right here. And if you can see it, you put too much in reality. It should just add dimension. I hope you can see that. All I've done is add light to my face. So I added shadows, I'm now adding light to my face. And considering we're at 16.5 minutes for the tutorial, it's not too bad. Because I don't know what in the world I'm doing still, it feels like when I do this. But it looks really nice. It looks natural. I've added shape to my face. I don't look quite so pale either. And I really like how it looks. So I hope you enjoyed that. Before we're done, I want to tell you about a challenge I'm doing starting tonight. It's this week. We were going to start last week, but then the hurricane hit. It's called the Most Beautiful You Challenge. And I created this because I have been struggling with self-care. I know every mama does since they become a mama. At least from what I've read, most people struggle with it. I have definitely struggled with it. I never thought I would, but I have been. And I created this because, well, I wanted to share with you what I've been learning and just create like a safe haven where we can encourage each other. I'm starting a private Facebook group for this challenge. It's going to go the rest of this month. We're going to focus on like a principle or aspect of self-care each week, and like a challenge to make yourself feel the most beautiful. Almost said prettiful. I guess that's pretty and beautiful together. I told you need to sleep. So like 1 week we may focus on a hairstyle or two that I can show you. I have some tips because my hair is so long and very, very, very thick. I'm like dark haired Rapunzel. Okay, and you have to style your hair differently when your hair is like that. And I've been compiling tips like that too. So there's gonna be hair tips, maybe a couple of coloring tips for picking colors to make you feel beautiful, to make you feel most confident. I'm not going to delve too much into that because I'm not a color analyst, but I have a few tips that I learned for myself that I can share with you. I'm going to share makeup tips. I want for you to find out for yourself what makes you feel the most beautiful and confident as a wife and mom and woman at home, so that way you can be prepared to have the best day possible. Because I've been learning that we are going to have the day that we're prepared to have. So it's not just your to-do list ready for you in the morning, or making your to-do list in the morning, however you do that, but it's being ready to do that to-do list, ready outside, ready inside for your to-do list. So that's what we're going to be working on, and I wanted to create a challenge because we need an encouraging place. So many people in this world are so willing to tell us what we should do and how we should do it and why we should do it and how we're not good enough because we don't do it. In reality, we just need encouragers that come alongside and say, hey, you're worthy of this, you're valuable, and I'm going to help you do it. I'll join you. So that's what this is for. I think I'm going to put up a code that gives you maybe so you can go pick out your favorites for your makeup. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. This is new to me. God's been putting this on my heart to do it, and I keep putting it off, and I'm just going to do it. So if I seem unconfident, is that a word? It's because
I'm kind of an introvert. I do like to walk up next to people and just help them and then walk off. So this is very challenging for me, and sorry, I have like a little bit of like stuffiness because like the wind is kicked up and I think is like messed me up a little bit. So you could probably hear the wind outside, and the wind is not gone yet from the hurricane. So anyways, I hope you'll join me. I'm going to send out the tutorial like always. It'll have a link to the Facebook group in it that you can join. Again, it's private, so anything you post in it is not going to be shown to your Facebook friends at all. I hate those kind of groups where you just all of a sudden start seeing people's sweaty selfies and such. We're not doing that. We can post selfies of our outfit or our makeup or detail of your makeup. It doesn't have to be the whole face. It could be, I love my lip color today, and just pictures your lips. Or I love my mascara today, or hair, or whatever. Nothing in the group is going to be shared outside the group. You won't be able to share it outside the group because it's private. So I think that's all I wanted to say. I really hope you join me, and we can encourage each other to be the most beautiful that we can be, because we're going to have more beautiful days that way. And our children need to see us taking care of ourselves, because it doesn't send a good signal if we are teaching them to take care of themselves if we're not taking care of ourselves. And we can't really take care of them very well if we don't take care of us. So anyways, I have been learning that, and I want to share all that with you, and I hope you'll join me. And that's everything. If you have any questions, please let me know. Any ideas of products that you would like to see me create, as always, please email me, leave a comment, whatever you like. So thank you very much, and remember that beauty is more than skin deep. Bye bye.